Well, welcome to Friday in the Kitchen. Today, I've got this beautiful aroma of roasted veggies in my kitchen. Oh my gosh, I wish you could smell what I smell right now. It smells so good. So, today we're doing roasted veggies, and I have many ways that you can roast veggies. And when I got this request, I think, oh, I want to welcome you all. So, welcome Sherry and Kat and Cosmic Shanty and Jenna. And I thought I saw Diana, but she might have moved off. And Vasilis. Welcome to our In the Kitchen. And when I got the request for roasted veggies, I thought, how am I going to make this interesting? But I have because I have four methods. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I will show you two that I'm actually going to make, but I'm going to tell you about four methods for you. And I could probably make it even more methods. So the one method, let me get some stuff going here. One of the methods is kind of called long and low. Let me move it here. And what you do to roast your veggies, this one keeps the most nutrients in the veggies. So this is, I guess, if you're most concerned about your nutrients, this is the method. So you take either a casserole dish or a stainless steel pot that you have. I remember when my grandmother was cooking, she had the stainless steel pots that had the black handles that were they're not plastic, but she used to put foil on them so she could put her things in the oven. But I have a stainless steel pot. I also have a couple of glass casserole dishes. I think this one actually was my grandmother's many years ago. Anyway, what you
Yeah.
do is put your veggies that you want to roast into the pot, add a little bit of water just to cover the bottom, put it into the oven at 350 for about an hour, and just let it go. And don't try not to peek because it's actually steaming it as part of the cooking. So this is the best way, in my opinion, from all that I've tried, to actually do oil-free roasted veggies. And you can add in some seasonings if you want and kind of mix them up so the seasoning gets to everything. And that's just a simple method. And when it's fork tender, then it's done. So it takes about an hour. So 350 is the temperature for the best temperature for keeping the nutrients. As we go up in temperature, then we're also adding in the acrylamides come in and all sorts of other things. But we want to balance our taste and actually, if we're going to eat the veggies, to what method we're going to use. And so I'm not going to show you this method today. I've showed it before, and I can show it if anybody has interest. But cut your vegetables up, just chop them up, put them in the pot with a little bit of water, maybe some spices, and away you go. That's it. That's one method. Done and dusted. All right. Take that out. Now I'm going to show you two recipes today that I would put my oven at somewhere between 350, 375 for these. And I like to cook. So you can do it without oil or with oil when you're doing kind of the classic roast. So we'll do the classic roast next. But I find that when I don't put oil, it gets dry. You can use like broth to put on it, but it's not my favorite. So if I'm going to do oil-free roasting, I usually will use the pan and put the lid on so that we're not losing any of the juices. It doesn't dry it out. But let's go for classic. So this is classic sheet pan now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put things in a bowl and I'm going to mix it up. I've got a big sheet pan that I'm going to hang on, let me put this here. I'm going to put my veggies in the bowl so I can stir them up with a little bit of oil. And You know, you could drizzle the oil on and put all your seasonings on, but I like to mix it up so they get more incorporated into the veggies. And you can use a lot of different veggies for that. Now I have my sheet pan. This is a pretty big one. And I am not liking cleanup, so I like to use parchment paper. So I'm going to just throw on some parchment paper here. A little wide, but that's okay. And we're just going to put the veggies onto that sheet pan. Now I use this Kirkland, it's from Costco, parchment paper. Because it also, when you're buying your parchment paper, watch for the ones that have a plastic coating on it, kind of like a waxy coating on it. So some of them have a waxy or a plastic coating. This one does not have that on it. It's, what do they say here? Vegetable parchment paper certified, kosher certified, and it does not have any, it's paper. It does not have any coating on it. So once you get the coating, you can get the plastics, which a lot of people are trying to avoid. So I just want to, give you that you should watch for that. Now, you can use a lot of different veggies, your root vegetables. You can put in other things. Today I'm going to do a little bit of roasted peppers. This is what I have. I also have Brussels sprouts that I'm going to roast, and cauliflower. So you want to, if you're doing root vegetables, they may take a little longer. Also get the size kind of similar so everything cooks at the same rate. What I'm going to do, I'll show you the cauliflower, but I'm going to do also a cauliflower steak because I've got half a cauliflower here. I'll show you how to do the cauliflower steak, and then I'm also going to do some cauliflower florets for roasted veggies because I find in the cauliflower, where it's closest to the stem, the cauliflower, when you cut, will stay together. But as you get to the edges, it doesn't stay together and you just end up with it falling apart. So what I usually do is maybe do 1 or 2 cauliflower steaks and then the florets for the rest of it. But we'll start with, I've already washed and cut my peppers. So they have the skins on. When it's done roasting, you can take the skins off if you want, or you can eat them, that's fine. They're good for you. All the nutrients that you get in the skins of vegetables. So I'm just gonna put them in my bowl. And how I wash my Brussels sprouts and prepare them, this is like many times, this is my preferred method, is I like to cut the stems off first and then put them in water, soapy water, and wash them. And what happens is some of the leaves come off, and some of the leaves you don't want. But if you put these leaves into your roasted veggie, they'll be nice and crispy for you. So this is where you can get some crispy leaves. I love that. So I'm going to add some in. Now you could leave your Brussels sprouts whole. I like to half them when I'm doing this. So I'm just going to, I didn't get to do that. So I'm just going to half some Brussels sprouts to put in here. Let me get a few to throw in. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so just get a couple here. Do 2 at a time. You can quarter them too, but they're fine. About half I think is nice. Just gonna do maybe a couple more. All right, yummy Brussels sprouts. Now, I think a lot of people, for Brussels sprouts, sometimes people don't like them. If you overcook them, especially if you boil them, then you get that. They are a cruciferous vegetable, and that sulforaphane, you'll get that will come out really big time. But they can stay mild if you saute them or you oven roast them. They don't get that. I think if you're steaming them or you let them go too long or you boil them, then you're going to get that Brussels sprout steak. I remember. So I'm going to cut up this cauliflower. I've got one floret here. I want to try and keep it into florets, but I just cut it up. My kids were when they were little. There was a book, Franklin, the turtle. They liked him, and there was an episode where he lost his blankie, and when they finally found his blankie, it was under his chair at the dinner table with Brussels sprouts in it because he hid them for the Brussels sprouts, and my kids couldn't figure out why he would do that because I had never made them eat anything. And so Franklin had put it under his chair because his parents were making him eat his Brussels sprouts. And yeah, if you just cook them, like boil them, they aren't the best tasting. But try this if you aren't a Brussels sprouts fan. I dare you to try this. So I'm taking and cutting about, I like to leave the stem on so that the cauliflower steak stays together. Things start falling apart. And then I can trim the end after I cut it, and at least it stays together. And the leaves on it are actually good to eat. So there's about a 3/4 of an inch or so cauliflower steak. So I'm going to put it here because I'm going to dress it up. And then I'm just going to I could probably get one more cauliflower steak, but I'm just going to leave it at one. And then I'm going to just take a few more cauliflowers and do those.
It's good eating it raw.
Sorry?
So, it's good eating it raw.
Yes, cauliflower.
So,
Some people don't like cauliflower raw. If you don't like it raw, if you blanch it, which really just means put it in water for a short time, it actually can be good too.
broccoli also you can eat raw too.
Yep, broccoli you can eat all the vegetables you can eat raw if you like
Never
them.
had Brussels sprouts raw.
Yep, I've actually seen them in salads.
Yeah,
You have them in a salad, raw in a salad.
interesting.
You would cut them up a lot thinner. They like shave them thin for the salad. Let me do one more of that, and then my dog is sitting beside me. I don't know if you can see
Bear,
him. Bear is right beside me. He's like, yeah, I want some of
where's
this crap.
Finley? Not there?
I put him in his crate because he likes to look out the window and bark.
Okay.
So because I've got all the windows open for light. All right. So that's that. I'm going to leave that there. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to add, for me, I'm going to add a drizzle of olive oil. Now, always get an extra virgin olive oil. And this is called first cold pressed. I think the extra virgin olive oil actually means the first cold press, but this one actually says it. And this one is from Albania. And if they've been cutting olive oil because it's so popular, and sometimes they're not good, a good quality oil. This one is good, I can tell you that. But how you
Yes, it
can
is.
tell if it's not good is if it's in the cold. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit on. You can measure it if you'd like. But if it's not good, it will. If it's good, it'll be milky and opaque when it's cold. When it heats up, it's translucent. So that's how you can tell if you have a good olive oil. Now, I'm just going to add spices. So you can add whatever spices light you up here. I've got a little bit of oregano. You could do real garlic if you wanted to put a clove or two of garlic in there. I just have some garlic powder. I'm just going to sprinkle it on. I have some onion powder. Add it on. I have a little bit of paprika. And then I'm going to do a little bit of salt and pepper. And you could just put whatever you want. Give them some flavor. But roasted vegetables draws out nice flavor in the veggies on its own without adding all the seasonings too. I'm going to add a little bit of salt too. Okay, and then I could do this with my hand too, and usually I do, but I don't want to get my hands all dirty here. So I'm just going to mix it up so that the veggies are mixed in with and coated with the olive oil and the spices. And like I said, you could do that by putting them on the sheet pan, mixing them up on the sheet pan, then you don't have to waste a bowl. You could actually just drizzle the olive oil on, and when it's cooking, that will disperse. But I like to distribute all of the flavors to start with. And then all I need to do is dump it on my sheet pan. Let me and spread it out. And now just going to do the cauliflower steak. Similar, but this one I probably will put my hands on it because it's going to be a little harder to do. Just adding a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of spices. There's my, put more garlic powder on, yeah. And I'm just doing the same, pepper, salt. You could add like cumin and coriander and whatever really you like. Basil, whatever you feel. An Italian spice mix. And then I'm just going to kind of mix it up so that it gets on both sides, like it on the florets. And put that on the oven thing. All right, let me move this. I just gotta wash my hands now.
Stop
The
party.
doorbell just rang. Yay! Okay. That's gonna take a bit to settle down.
Okay, my cat just ran from the room.
Did I scare your cat?
My cat just ran.
All right, I'm gonna put my roasted veggies in the oven. I got the sheet pan roasted veggies here. Just gonna throw them in the oven. And I'm gonna take out the done ones. Yeah. Not put the spoon in with it. Hang on, I'm so sorry.
That's what happens when you have dogs.
Sorry about that.
That's what makes it live, Debbie.
This is what happens live. Now I got to remember where I was. So this is when you got to cool your nervous system down. Give me a second. Stop. Stop. Sit. Okay.
Behave.
I'm going to just calm my nervous system a little bit. Okay. Where were we? All right. So we put our veggies in the oven. Now I'm going to make veggies in aluminum foil. So this is another way for easy to make. So I'm going to do sliced potatoes here. I have some sliced potatoes. I'm going to do some onion. So I've kind of cut up some onion into slices. And I also am going to do some sliced carrots. Now we'll do this just with the potatoes. Sometimes you can put them in the oven. This is also great to put on the barbecue if you're doing something on the barbecue. We don't have a barbecue anymore, but if you have a barbecue, you could put them in the barbecue. And my parents do that when they barbecue them the potatoes, and they are so good. But and they get that caramelization in the barbecue that I don't get necessarily in the oven. But they're great to steam them. You make a little foil packet, and we're going to do it similar to how we did the roasted veggies. We're going to just put the potatoes, thin sliced potatoes, into the bowl. I've got my carrots, thin sliced. You want to make sure your carrots are thin so they'll cook. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I was taught at one point if you cut them a little bit on a diagonal, they'll cook faster. I don't know if that's true. And then just putting in some of the onion. Here, cut it up. They're very upset because somebody came to the door in Vegas.
Is that why he's barking?
Yes, so he's gonna get upset about that. Add a little bit, again, similar. We're just gonna add a little bit of olive oil to it to drizzle the olive oil. Add spices. You could change them up. I'm just gonna use the same ones again. A little bit of everything here.
You're gonna be the only one eating that. Anyways.
Well, there's only one kid home right now.
What?
There's only one kid home right now. My other daughter is at dance competition this weekend.
Oh.
Up your way, Helene and Markham.
Nice. You should have came
stir
too.
that up. But they stay there because they're at the dance competition from morning to night. All right.
So glad Passover's over now. I still haven't had my.
All right. Now, instead of putting these on the sheet pan this time, I think I'm going to use this bigger one. So I have two different aluminum foil. One is a little wider, so we're just going to make a nice little, this one I don't think I've opened yet. We're going to make a little foil pouch and then they're going to be a little bit more steamed that way. And yeah, so I'll use the wider one. It'll be easier to make the pouch with the wider one.
That looks very thin.
The foil?
Yeah. They have a thicker one too.
Yeah, so we used to, when we did a lot of barbecuing, way back in the day, we got the big thing at Costco with the, and if it's too thin for you, you can always add a second layer to it. All right. So I'm just going to take a sheet of aluminum foil, put my veggies in the middle, and then wrap them like a parcel and put them in the oven. Okay. So this is like wrapping up. So I usually just roll it down on the middle and then make sure there's nothing on the edges, and then just roll in tightly on each edge.
I don't know, I'd be scared doing it that way.
And that's it. I have this nice parcel that I can put in the oven and roast this. So again, similar temperature, and if I roast at 350, which is the lower temperature, I just roast for a longer time. And then I'm just going to take it out. My foil.
What shelf do you use? The very bottom?
Sorry?
Are you using the very bottom?
Of the oven?
Yeah.
I use both. That's good. Hang on, let me get my thing to put this on.
So
But
you
this
use
one
the
you
very.
have to be very careful because when you open it, it's going to be steamy. So when I'm putting my stuff in the oven, you always want to make sure that there's circulation around it. So my cookie sheet, I wouldn't put two together so that there's no room for circulation around the edges. You always want to make sure there's room for things to circulate. So what I did is my veggies I put on these sheet veggies I put on the bottom on one side, and I put the sheet pan on the other side so that there's room for the airflow to circulate. And I do not have a convection oven. I think that also helps if you have a convection oven. All right, veggies, time to eat. So these were in the
The
oven.
best part is eating.
Huh?
The best part is eating, watching
Best
you
part is
eat.
eating. My cauliflower steak. Now you can do it to your own doneness. This was in the oven a little more than an hour. So it's more done, which I'm okay with here. If you can see the cauliflower steak. And it's a little more crispy on the backside. You know, if you take it out earlier, some people like their cauliflower steak to be not so well done. They like it a little firmer, so you can decide yourself. I have my veggies. They're all nice and golden brown. And for if you wanted to, when you roast the peppers, like if you're roasting peppers for something else, then they're actually at a point where you can take the skins off really easily as well. So I'm just going to take the skin off. This one, the edges are crispy because it was in the oven long enough to crisp up. But again, you don't have to have them in the oven that long. And you can take off the skins if you want to. It's up to you. The skins are good for you. Where'd I put my thing? So I've got my roasted veggies here. They're all nice and brown. And I'm just going to open up my sheet pan again. This one, be very careful because it's got steam in it. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of it. It's coming off really big time here. And all we do is throw in. So these are nice. Oh, they're so nice and soft. They're not, they're caramelized now, but they're not, they don't get that brown, the same crispy edges as much as the other ones. So these are softer because they've been steamed, and they're just like, they fall apart. So good. Yum. I don't know if I can show you the inside of the bag. Open it up, and you've got steamed veggies here. So when you're done, you can rinse off your tin foil, your aluminum foil, and put it into the recycling bin. And that's it. Now, sometimes people will put like a sauce over top of their cauliflower steak. So you could do that. I think we have done some sauces before that you could use one of those sauces, like the golden, what is it? Golden Glory? Is that what it is? And you know, there's lots of different sauces we've done that you could use one of those dressings or sauces to pour over it if you wanted to dress it up. I like my veggies just like this. All right, cheers. All right, any questions? I see a couple of things in the chat. Make them in the microwave. Yeah, I don't even have a microwave, so I'm good. Yeah. So I don't know if there's any questions. Yes.
I do have a question. So if you like them crisp, the suggestion is to use the sheet pan with the parchment paper, correct?
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm so glad your dad found the part to your oven. Thank him.
Yay!
What happened to what happened here? You couldn't find it here?
No, they didn't have it here.
Weird.
My dad found it. It's a used part. It's not perfect, Kathy. It's not perfect.
But at least it worked.
It works. I'm happy.
That goes with your saying, better done than perfect, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So good. I love these roasted veggies. And so easy to clean up when you're done. Throw out your parchment paper. Recycle your aluminum foil. Whew, you're good. Now, I just want to note, some people might not like want to use aluminum foil because you can get little particles of aluminum. So if that's something you're concerned with, you don't need to use that method. You could actually put, I've never done it, but you could actually use parchment paper to make a little vessel. I think they do that. Some of the fancy things do that, but it's not a lot of, and I think it depends on, I'm going to go back to done is better than perfect when it comes to that. So I do in the recipe card, which I'm just getting for you now, I do talk about the aluminum foil as well. Let me just get the, hang on. Okay. No, that's not the right one. Okay. All right, I just lost it. Okay, so give me a second. I actually closed out of what I had to get that for you. So give me a second to get back in. And I'll find that for you here. My dog is growling in the background here. He's not going to be happy until he's not. Oh, there goes the dog next door. It's the day. It's a day. Oh my goodness. Help. All right, I got it now. You just have sometimes it's the way it works. Okay, there we go. That's the recipe there. I just popped it in for you. And so simple to make. You know, you can do your potatoes in the oven. You can, just cut them up. I think I might in a couple weeks do a air fryer day and do something in the air fryer. We'll see.
No.
Because I'm actually going to be traveling. I'm going to Edmonton and Los Angeles, so I'm going to see what I can do, something easy I can do while I'm on the road. All right. All right, what happened? All right, so yeah, at the bottom I talk about the foil. It does, and also, so it can transfer small amounts of aluminum to the food. But most likely it's when you're using acidic foods and high heat and long cooking times. And that's something that you want to consider. For most people, it's low risk, but again, it's up to you what your tolerance is, how you want to do it. It's an option, but if it's something that you're not interested in, that's fine. I just thought I would have it as an option for you because it does make nice veggies, nice and soft and cooked. All right, any questions? No, everybody's good.